catching up with Luke McDonald of Gold Coast's very own Sunk Loto. Luke, how are you, man?
I'm good, thank you. How are you?
Yeah, going really well, man. I was just saying a little bit off air there. I've been a fan of you guys since I was kids. It's crazy that you've reformed, and apologies in advance if I sort of ask you questions you're going to get asked over and over again with these interviews. But Sunk Loto is back. It's very, very exciting. Why now,
Thank you.
Luke?
I think the timing's right. I've kind of myself, I've had some struggles with drugs and alcohol. And so that's kind of held the party up a bit, you know what I mean? Because I just felt like I wanted to do it. I wanted to reform the band. I just felt like I had to have enough time of drugs and alcohol before I could attempt it, because the last thing I wanted to do was, say I'm back and say that I'm in and get, the band going and then have a relapse or something. Um, I mean, as far as, where I'm coming from, and my role in the whole thing, it's mainly got to do with my sobriety.
Oh, well, that's crazy right there. And to be honest, I plead ignorance. I had no idea about that. One of my upcoming questions, Luke, was though, and maybe it sort of fits
Yeah.
into this a little bit, is do you think that
Yep.
Sunk Loto peaking so early was a blessing or a curse for you guys?
Mm. Oh man, I guess it could be kind of looked at in two ways. Um, oh God, I don't know, man. Like I feel like at the moment, I got to say, it kind of feels like everything's happening the way it's supposed to.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, it's weird, man. It just feels like this was the right time for us to get together. It feels like we had to go through that break. Um, so yeah, I don't know, man. Probably a bit of both.
Yeah, a little up and down kind of thing. It's like, reading back,
Yeah,
going back into my past sort of thing. It's like you guys were 16 years old. I have a
yeah.
16-year-old son now, and I can't even imagine him being in that situation, which is all sorts of crazy. And reading stories about you guys meeting up with Deftones and whatnot,
Yes.
it's just unreal looking back on it all. What are some of your biggest memories from back in the day?
Oh man, yeah, probably apart from the Deftones stuff, because Deftones are absolutely one of my favorite bands, and Around the Fur is my favorite album of all time.
Yes.
Um, I'd have to say one of my favorites was Playing the Big Day Out in 2001. That was amazing, and at the time we were huge At the Drive-In fans, and their album Relationship at Command had just come out, and it was amazing. One of the highlights of the tour was getting to see those guys. I think we got to see them 3 times on that tour. Yeah.
Yeah, that's all sorts of awesome. Like when you're going along and touring, I guess it's a benefit of it, isn't it? You get to see your favorite bands live as well as performing yourself.
Exactly, man. Exactly. It's amazing. And for us it was just it was all about, it's always been about the music. We're just,
Yeah.
at the end of the day, man, we're just music fans, and we just honestly just want to try to the best of our ability to make the best music we can. So, it was never really about money or anything like that, or fame. All of that stuff is great. It's all a luxury and it's wonderful. But for us, man, we just, at the heart of us, we just want to try and make really good music, if that makes sense. So, getting to go on tour and see At the Drive-In and meet your heroes like Deftones and things like that, it's just like, it's honestly, it's like you're living in an actual dream sometimes. It's very strange. Yeah.
Oh, I can only imagine, man. And that sort of comes on to just recently you announced that you guys are back.
Hmm.
And did you expect to sell out shows within 24 hours? Like, that is crazy right there. I was thinking, man, I missed out on tickets. So I'm like, oh, I'm definitely going
Oh,
to go.
dude. Where
But
where are you? Where are you at? Where are you based?
closest to Melbourne. So yeah, sold out.
Okay. We might be able to help you out with that, man. Just
Oh, thank
send
you.
me an email, you know what I mean? And we'll hook you up. We'll get you in. Yeah.
You're a very good man. But really, I really appreciate that. But did that just spin you guys out to go? Like, obviously, the world is,
Yeah.
or Australia is very much missing that Sunk Loto sound.
It was wonderful. Like to be honest, I had a good feeling. I've tried to interact with the fans as much as I could over the years on social media.
Yeah.
And, I always love to check out the comments and everything like that. And I just had a feeling, man, that if we did this, that it would be successful. Not as successful. I don't know, man. Like maybe not that. Like 24 hours. I mean, the fans, like Jason said. Sorry if I'm muddling my words a bit, but Jason put it really great on another interview that we did when he said the fans have really made it easy on us.
Yeah.
And it's really a dream come true for us. It really is.
Yeah, it's insane right there, and very well deserved, man. And like you talked about your
Thank you.
struggles, no worries. You've talked about your struggles over the last however long, man. All that aside, did you sort of stay in contact and sort of keep an eye on the music industry, or were you out of it altogether?
Yeah, man, I've always been obsessed with music. I just can't really get away from it. And I've always tried to go out and check out music and be supportive of other bands. And I just wasn't really in a headspace to be out in kind of public playing music. You know what I mean? I was still always playing at home, but not so much in public, if that makes sense.
Yeah, it very much does, man. And it's sorry to hear that you went through all that though. But it's awesome that, you're back on track and that the future's looking bright.
Thank you, brother. Thank you. Yeah, it was, I come from a dysfunctional family. So, to kind of like escape that dysfunction at about the age of 12, I was already doing like hard drugs like acid and alcohol and speed and all that sort of stuff. Yeah. And it kind of just continued in my life, because when you're that young, man, you just have no idea of anything really, like what the future is going to be if you continue to go down that road. And it took me, I was living in men's shelters. I went all the way down the bottom, man. Yeah. All the way down the bottom.
Wow. That's just terrible to hear. Look, I had absolutely no idea at all. And that's another sort of hardship at the age of 12. Wow. That is scary.
Yeah.
But like you said, it's just so awesome that you're back on track. The band's back together. You've sold out a whole bunch of shows. The future is very, very much looking bright. And another question for you, man. I suppose you've kept in contact with the music industry. What do you think the biggest change is from back when you guys were going in the early 2000s to now? Like, what do you think the biggest changes have been throughout that time?
Social media, man. Like there was no social media when we were a band.
True.
And obviously, the streaming services and things like that. And man, I have to say that. And I'm actually super excited about being a band again and being able to implement social media and that sort of thing into our band and see what can be done with it,
Yeah, very much so. And I was sort of leading towards the streaming service side of things. The streams are sort of, a lot of bands are saying that they're sort of killing the music industry at the moment. Would you agree with that sort of thing?
Say it again. Sorry, Ned.
I was just saying, like, I was sort of alluding towards the, like the streaming services and that sort of thing. Do you think that's a good thing for music, or a lot of people are saying that it's, bad because the bands aren't making as much money? What are your sort of takes on the actual streaming side of things?
I'm not sure, man. I haven't really thought about it that much. I guess there's probably pros and cons to it. You know what I mean? Like anything, there's pros and cons. What do you think about it? What are your thoughts on it?
My thoughts are, it's like bands like you, Loto is a great example. It's like I grew up listening to you back in the day. I've got your CDs.
Thank you.
Now, if I want to tell buddies of mine that live over in America or something like that about Loto, which I'll be doing, I'll be like, man, you got to check these guys out. It's very easy for them to just find, like go to SoundCloud or go to Spotify or whatever, and they can listen right away. You don't have to go on that hunt. So even though the hunt's gone, Luke, which sucks because it's exciting finding that CD in a store, but it's cool that they can access that music right away.
Yeah, and I love CD like artwork, and I love the whole thing of like opening it, looking through the artwork and the lyrics and all that sort of stuff, photos of the band. So that's something that as long as that doesn't get lost, I'm cool with it. You know what I mean? Because I still love CDs and obviously vinyl and all that sort of thing. you know. But what you're saying is a wonderful thing, you know, that anyone over the world can find it. You can tell your buddies, hey, this band sunk Loto, and they can check it out within like, you know, a couple of seconds, a click of a button. You know, that is amazing.
Yeah, it's
That's a
amazing.
wonderful thing.
I agree with you on the artwork side of things too, Luke. Like the society anxiety artwork. Sorry, that's sick, man.
That's
I
okay.
love that right there. So,
Thank
man,
you.
obviously nostalgia a big thing in
Yes.
2022. It's that sort of time again, like a lot of those new metal bands and whatnot from back in the day are sort of becoming big again. You see Static X doing, 20 years of Wisconsin Death Trip and all that sort of thing. There's fun stuff like the Beavis and Butthead movie coming out.
Love it.
Yeah, I thought you might like that sort of thing. So I was going to ask, is there anything that you'd love to see come back from back in the day when it was all happening in the early 2000s, late 90s sort of era?
Like as in music or anything?
Yeah, just anything, music, movies, whatever.
I like those really trashy TV shows. Like I don't know if Maury Povich is still going, and all those TV shows like Jerry Springer and stuff. I was addicted to that stuff, so I'd like to see those come back. I don't know, man. I just really love to see an explosion of new bands. I'd really love to see a lot of. I think looking back on the 90s, man, we were so spoilt. There was so much music coming out all the time. So I'm hoping that in the 20s, and obviously I love all the old bands and all that sort of thing, and I guess we're considered an old band now. So I want to see some young kids come out and, you know, do some music. I want to see an explosion of bands. Maybe I just don't have you know, my ear to the ground. Maybe I'm just old and I'm not aware of what's out there. But I mean, how do you feel about that? Do you think that there's not as many kind of bands or something like that are releasing stuff? Or
yeah, I 100% agree. It's very much hard to find the quality of like when you're talking about your Deftones and stuff like that. And I sort of feel like you might be in the same sort of situation as me, where I find myself just looking forward to those old bands releasing new music. But I don't know if you've heard Ice Nine Kills and band like that, but they're pretty cool. They're
okay.
Again, they're from like the 2010 sort of era come along. So,
right.
But
I have heard that name.
Yeah, definitely worth checking out, man. But right before I run out of time, I want to grab a recommendation from you. Like you were talking about earlier, you know, Maury Povich and all that sort of stuff. What have you been checking out? Like, is there anything that you'd recommend to people checking this out?
Music goes, just Queen, you know, a lot of Queen stuff, a lot of Beatles stuff. Yeah, that you know, that's what I kind of listen to, you know what I mean? Just a lot of old stuff. Apart from that, man, just I don't know, just just like, do you mean just music or other things?
Definitely, just that or anything like a music, Queen, and that's cool. We're definitely not talking new stuff there, are we, Luke? But
sorry,
just joking. Like any movies or anything that you've checked out?
The Wrestler is a great film. If
The Wrestler,
no one's seen that, it's from probably, but it's got Mickey Rourke in it, and Marissa Tomei. It's a great film, very inspirational and very raw, by Darren. Sorry, I can't say it. It's a great film. Check it out, man. Very powerful stuff.
Yeah, 100% couldn't agree more. I have seen that. And Luke, the last question before I let you go, my man, is what is and you're going to get a lot, no doubt. When will we hear some new Sunk Loto?
Well, we do have a song from the Between Birth and Death era that no one's heard. And we might be playing it on this tour. We may even release it. And we've actually already started working on some new music. So hopefully, man, like if everything goes well, you'll be hearing some new Sunk Loto music this year.
Wow, that's what I like to hear right there, man. That is so awesome. It's
Yeah.
giving me something to very much look forward to. These guys are Sunk Loto. You can check them out. Sunk Loto Official on Facebook and Instagram. Luke, thank you so much. And be sure to hit them up if you can get tickets to those show. There's still a second show in Brisbane on July the 30th where there's tickets available. And also in the Factory Theatre, Marrickville. I had to check out where that even was. That's a suburb of Sydney. That one's going down in November. We'll pop up the links on our website. Thanks so much for taking time out, Luke, man. Really appreciate it.
Thank you, Ned. Thank you so much. And send us an email, man. We'll hook you up with a ticket for the Melbourne show. We'll get you in.
You're too kind, man. Thank you.
You're welcome, brother. Have a great day.